Yes, Andrea, bring us inside the courtroom. You saw the final arguments of this case, the final witness, I should say. What was it like to have Susan Hoffinger cross-examine him, and what was the jury doing during this?
Well, it was extraordinary to be in this courtroom, to watch Donald Trump walk in and his retinue with him, of course. He had the former acting attorney general, Matt Whitaker, with him. A number of members, backbenchers from Congress, notably Ronny Jackson, the congressman from Texas, who was his White House physician. You'll recall the healthiest president in history or something to that effect, with no medical information provided in the White House briefing room. All of that walking in, and then Susan Hoffinger just filleted Robert Costello. You had to ask yourself, why did they even put on Robert Costello as a defense witness? You know that it was to say that, supposedly Michael Cohen said to him that Donald Trump didn't know anything about it. But that was when Michael Cohen was still very much in the corner of the former president of the United States, then president of the United States. It was very clear from all of these emails that Susan Hoffinger then presented, one after another, from him, all of these emails pressuring Michael Cohen to stay on the page, constantly pressuring him, we know you can sleep well tonight, you can rest well tonight, you've got friends in high places. Then when he had resisted hiring Costello, who was a friend of Rudy Giuliani's, which made Michael Cohen immediately nervous that he was going to pass all of his information on to Rudy Giuliani and to Donald Trump, and he didn't hire him. At least that's what the testimony of the prosecution was. Well, he claimed that he had been retained, even though there was no retainer agreement. And then over and over again asking him, emails that said things like, is he nuts? Is he nuts that he's going to anger the most important man on the planet? This was the email from Robert Costello to Jeff Citron, his law partner. So there were repeated emails that constantly proved that they were trying to pressure Michael Cohen to basically, not flip, to stay on the page, telling him, over and over again in all of these emails. And there was just nothing that he could deny in any of these emails. It was just extraordinary, as she constantly had him basically testifying for the prosecution. At that point, she also asked him about the fact that he had testified on Capitol Hill at Judiciary, that is the very tough Republican committee, that he had just testified last week and had vilified Michael Cohen and asked him, weren't you trying to intimidate him while he was a witness in this case? And he said, no, I was not. But then she said, the prosecution rests. So it was just an extraordinary collapse, I would say, of the defense, having presented Robert Costello, who, as you know, was chastised by the judge just yesterday in an unbelievable moment of clearing the courtroom and chewing him out. He was better behaved today, but still a little snippy, arrogant, you could say. And Susan Hoffinger just basically took him apart. I think that's the only way to describe it.